Be me, 26F. I'm an expert on the subtle ways the patriarchy poisons everything. It's not even a hot take. It's just reading the instruction manual for society. My life is, for the most part, a curated space. A sanctuary from cis-het male nonsense. My friend group is all queer women and non-binary folks. My academic work is my life's work. And my relationship is a testament to what love can be without patriarchal power dynamics. My girlfriend, Maya, 25F, works in graphic design. We've been together for 3 years. She's my everything. When we met, she was just coming out of a string of shitty relationships with guys. Classic story. Men who didn't listen. Men who took up too much space. Men who were emotionally stunted toddlers. She's bi, which I was initially a bit wary of, not gonna lie, felt like a potential backdoor to patriarchal conditioning, but I saw the good in her. The light that was being dimmed by performing for men. I like to think I helped her unlearn a lot of that. I showed her what a relationship of equals looks like, where communication isn't a battle and support is a given. Our first year was basically me deprogramming her. We'd watch a movie, and I'd pause it to point out the male gaze, or a Bechdel test fail. She'd listen with wide eyes, totally getting it. Wow, I never saw it that way before. Feltgoodwoman.jpg. I was literally liberating her mind. She'd talk about an ex, and I'd reframe her experience for her through a feminist lens. It wasn't just he was a bad boyfriend. It was you were experiencing the casual misogyny inherent in heteronormative dating rituals. See the difference? It empowers you. It takes it from a personal failing to a systemic issue. Maya really blossomed. She cut her hair, started dressing more for herself, with some gentle guidance from me, of course, away from things that catered to the male gaze. She even started calling out her dad on his casual sexism at Thanksgiving. I was so proud. Our life was perfect. We had a cute 2-bedroom apartment filled with plants and books by Bell Hooks and Audre Lorde. We'd spend our weekends at farmers markets, going to local art shows, hosting wine nights with our friends where we'd just vent about the state of the world. It was a bubble. A perfect, intellectually stimulating, emotionally fulfilling bubble. Maya seemed so happy. She'd look at me sometimes with this adoring gaze. "You're so smart," she'd say. And I'd be like, "I'm just speaking the truth, babe." I was the anchor, the theorist. She was the artist, the heart. A perfect symbiosis. Her bisexuality became a non-issue, a historical footnote. She hadn't even looked at a man in 3 years. We'd sometimes joke about it. "Remember when you thought guys with guitars were hot?" I'd tease, and she'd laugh and hide her face. Oh God, don't remind me. I was a child. We were above all that now. We were in an evolved relationship. The first crack was so small I almost missed it. It started about 6 months ago. Maya got a message on Instagram from an old college friend, a guy named Kevin. She showed me the message. "Hey Maya, long time no see. Saw your design work on NovaPixel's page, it looks amazing. Hope you're doing well." I immediately went on alert. My internal patriarchy detector started humming. "Who's this?" I asked, keeping my voice neutral. "Oh, just Kevin. He was in my senior studio class. Super nice guy. We were pretty good friends." I took her phone and scrolled through his profile. Oh dear God. Profile picture was him, grinning, holding a fish. A f***ing fish. Bio, engineer, hiker, dog dad. Posts were pictures of mountains. Him with a group of other generic-looking dudes at a brewery. A video of him playing some video game. The sheer, unadulterated, unapologetic masculinity. It was like a caricature. "He seems intensely basic," I said, handing the phone back. "He's just a normal dude," she said, shrugging. "He's nice." "There's no such thing as just a normal dude," I lectured gently. "That's a construct. Every man benefits from and participates in patriarchal structures, whether he's conscious of it or not. Niceness is often a tool to obscure that." Maya just kind of nodded, but not with the usual enthusiasm. She was already typing a reply. "So good to hear from you. Yeah, that project was fun. Hope you are doing great." I felt a little spike of annoyance. She didn't have to encourage him. They started messaging occasionally, just friendly stuff. She'd show me sometimes. Memes, links to articles, nostalgia about college. I tolerated it, but I'd make little comments. "Ugh, another Marvel movie? Does he have any personality of his own?" Careful, Maya. Spending too much time talking to someone like that can be de-radicalizing. She'd just laugh it off. "It's just texts. We live in different cities." I tried to relax, but it was like finding a roach in my clean kitchen. This little piece of the outside world, this male element, was infesting my curated sanctuary, and I couldn't just spray it and watch it die. Then, 2 months ago, she tells me Kevin is moving back to our city for a job. "Oh, that's a thing," I said. "Yeah, he asked if I wanted to get coffee and catch up when he gets settled." My face must have said it all. What? She asked, a little defensive. He's my friend. A friend who conveniently re-entered your life and is now moving here? It's a classic script, Maya. Men don't just reconnect for friendship. There's always an angle. He's trying to resubjugate you. Resubjugate me? Are you for real? He's a friend from college I haven't seen in 5 years. You're being paranoid. Paranoid? Me? I who have read the texts, who have done the work, who understands the very fabric of gendered power dynamics? I was being realistic. She was being naive. I just don't want to see you get hurt, or worse, manipulated. By Kevin? He's the least manipulative person I know. He's just solid, you know? I did not know solid sounded like a euphemism for boring and patriarchal. We argued. It was our first real argument in over a year. It wasn't a productive academic debate like we usually had. It was a fight. She accused me of being controlling. I accused her of having internalized misogyny and being blind to her own potential oppression. We went to bed angry. It felt awful. The sanctuary was breached. She met him for coffee, came back looking lighter, happier than I'd seen her in a while. It pissed me off. So, how was it? Did he explain how he plans to dismantle the patriarchy he so clearly benefits from? I asked, voice dripping with sarcasm. It was nice, she said, ignoring my question. We just talked. It was easy. Easy. What a loaded word. Our relationship wasn't easy. It was intentional. It was work. Easy is what you call something you don't have to think about, something that just falls into existing problematic patterns. They started hanging out more once a week than twice. They'd go to a rock climbing gym, or he'd help her with something in her car she was complaining about. I hated it. Every time she came back from seeing him, she'd be full of stories. Kevin and I were talking about that new FromSoft game. He said I should try it. Oh, so you're into hyper-violent, male-coded power fantasies now? I'd say. It's just a game. It looks cool. She actually installed it on her laptop. I walked in on her playing it one night, completely absorbed. She was so focused, biting her lip in concentration. She looked up and saw me standing there, arms crossed. What? Nothing. Just observing the colonization of your leisure time by masculine archetypes. She took off her headset and sighed. A big, weary sigh. Can you please just stop? For 1 second. Can you just be normal? Normal, that word again. Normal is the problem, Maya. Normal is the default setting of oppression. You knew this. Maybe I'm tired of everything being a political statement, she said, her voice quiet. Maybe I just want to play a video game because my friend recommended it and it's fun. He's not your friend, I snapped. He's an agenda. I started becoming an ideological detective. I had to prove to her that this guy was bad news. I started snooping. Yeah, I know. Violation of trust. But I was doing it for her, to protect her. It was a necessary evil. I waited till she was in the shower and checked her phone. Went straight to her texts with Kevin. I was expecting, I don't know, pics, needy messages, love bombing, something I could point to and say, aha, see? But it was just nothing. It was banal, offensively banal. Him. Hey, you free to climb Thursday? Her. Yep, 7 p.m. Him. Perfect. Oh, by the way, found that book on Swiss design you were looking for at a used bookstore. Picked it up for you. Her. You're the best. I owe you. Him. Nah, it's cool. See you Thurs. That was it. No manipulation, no subtle nothing from my textbooks. He remembered a book she mentioned offhand and got it for her. It was thoughtful. And that made me even more furious. This was a more insidious kind of tactic. The nice guy. Camouflage. He was lulling her into a false sense of security before the patriarchal trap sprung shut. I had to escalate. That weekend, I planned a corrective experience. I invited our friend Mia over. She's even more radical than I am. My plan was to have a conversation where Mia and I could tag team, gently guide Maya back to the light. We're all sitting in the living room. I bring up the topic of allyship. I've just been thinking a lot about the performance of male allyship, I began, looking meaningfully at Maya. How men co-opt our language to seem woke but don't do any of the actual work. Mia, right on cue. Totally. It's like, you can't just be a feminist guy. You have to actively cede your power. Most of them just use it as a way to get with women. I look at Maya. Right, Maya. You know what that's like from your past. Maya was just staring into her wine glass. I guess, she said, it's like this guy you're hanging out with, I pressed, going for the kill. This Kevin. He presents as this harmless, helpful friend, but what is he actually doing? Is he challenging his male friends on their sexism? Is he donating to feminist causes? Or is he just, climbing rocks and playing video games? It's a passive upholding of the status quo. Maya put her glass down, calmly. His sister runs a women's shelter, she said. He volunteers there every other weekend. He helps them fix their computers and does handyman stuff they can't afford to contract out. Silence. Mia and I just stare at her. My brain is short-circuiting. This does not compute with my data. What? I stammered. He doesn't talk about it. I only found out because I asked him why he was busy last weekend. He thinks talking about it is performative. Mia.exe has stopped working. Mia.exe has crashed entirely. He neutralized my main argument without even being in the room. I felt a hot, prickling wave of humiliation. Maya just picked her glass back up and took a sip. Looking at me over the rim for the first time, her eyes weren't adoring, they were pitying. The rest of the night was awkward as hell. Mia left early. After she left, Maya turned to me. "You need to stop," she said. "This obsession is ugly, and you're embarrassing yourself." Embarrassing myself? I felt a surge of pure, indignant rage. I am trying to protect you. Can't you see that? He's playing some kind of 4D chess to get you, and you're falling for it. This is what they do. They find a weakness and they exploit it. "What's my weakness?" she asked, her voice dangerously calm. "Your history, your conditioning, your bisexuality. It just came out. The thing I'd been thinking but never said aloud. The mask slipped. I showed her the ugly, distrustful part of my ideology. Her face just fell. It was like watching a statue crumble. She didn't say anything. She just stood up and went into the bedroom and closed the door. I stood in the living room, heart pounding. I knew I'd fucked up. Royally. We didn't speak for 2 days. We moved around the apartment like ghosts. The silence was worse than any screaming match. I tried to apologize, sort of. "Look, I shouldn't have said that," I said through the bedroom door. "I was just scared. I love you and I see this influence and it's making me crazy." "It's not an influence," her voice came back, muffled. "It's a choice. My choice." I didn't understand what choice. Hanging out with him? The next day, I came home from a lecture. There were boxes in the living room. Her boxes. Filled with her clothes, her books, her art supplies. My heart dropped into my stomach. Maya was sitting on the sofa, just looking at the boxes. "What's this?" I asked, my voice a whisper. "I'm moving out," she said. She didn't look at me. "What? No. No. We can fix this. I'll stop, I promise. No more talk about Kevin. We can go back to how it was." "We can't," she said, finally looking up at me. Her eyes were red. "Because it was never real." "What are you talking about? We were perfect." "No," she said, shaking her head. "You were perfect. And I was your perfect student, your perfect project. You didn't love Maya. You loved the idea of saving Maya, of molding her into this perfect feminist partner." My whole body went cold. "That's not true, isn't it? When was the last time you asked me what I wanted, without already having the correct answer ready? When was the last time you just let me enjoy something without deconstructing it? I can't live in a textbook anymore. I can't walk on eggshells worried that my favorite song is problematic or my laugh is too shrill." I felt dizzy. The floor was tilting. "So what, you're just giving up? On us? On everything we built?" "We didn't build it together," she said, her voice finally breaking. "You built it, and I just lived in it. And it's suffocating." Then she delivered the final blow. "I'm staying with Kevin for a bit, until I find my own place." I think I blacked out for a second. The roaring in my ears was so loud. "You're leaving me? For him?" I choked out. The words felt like poison in my mouth. "For a man?" "I'm not leaving you for him," she said, standing up. "I'm leaving you for me. It just so happens that he sees me. The actual me, not the person he wants me to be." And then she twisted the knife. "And yes, I'm with him now. Properly. We're together." The meltdown started. It wasn't a cool academic deconstruction of my feelings. It was a primal animal scream of fury and betrayal. "After everything I did for you?" I shrieked, the sound tearing out of my throat. I saved you. I saved you from them. From that whole pathetic, soul-crushing world of performing for mediocre men. And you're just running right back to it? Are you insane? I started pacing, grabbing my hair. You are a traitor. To me, to our community, to all women. You have so much internalized misogyny you'd rather be some guy's fuck toy than an equal partner in a revolutionary relationship. You're pathetic. She just stood there, watching me, her face a mask of sadness and resolve. I wasn't getting through. She was already gone. I started throwing things, not at her, just around. I grabbed a stack of my books from the coffee table, Butler, Solnit, Dworkin, and hurled them at the wall. This is what you're throwing away. Actual knowledge, actual liberation. For what? A guy who owns a fishing rod and plays fucking Call of Duty? Pages fluttered to the ground like dead birds. It's not about the books, she said softly. It's about you using them as a weapon. Her friend came to the door then. Kevin, he just stood in the doorway, looking awkward and sad. He didn't look like a monster. He looked like a normal guy who'd come to help his girlfriend move. He didn't say a word to me, just looked at Maya. Ready? He asked. She nodded, tears finally streaming down her face. She grabbed her purse and walked towards the door, not looking back at me. Kevin picked up 2 of her boxes. He grunted a little with the weight. He glanced at me one time as he followed her out. There was no triumph in his eyes, just pity. Again. That fucking pity. And then they were gone. The door clicked shut. I was alone. Alone in my perfect, curated sanctuary, surrounded by the wreckage of my enlightened worldview. I just slid down the wall and sat on the floor, sobbing. Not for the loss of her, not yet, but for the sheer, catastrophic failure of my entire belief system. It wasn't supposed to happen this way. The woman always chooses liberation. She always chooses the sisterhood. She doesn't choose the man. She never chooses the man. The weeks after were a blur. I did what any self-respecting, recently dumped leftist does. I went online. I posted long, vague, furious threads on Twitter. A reminder that bisexuality can often be a Trojan horse for compulsory heterosexuality. It's a tragedy to watch someone you love de-radicalize and run back to the comfort of their own oppression. 2,000 likes, 400 retweets. My DMs and comments were flooded with support. Yes, Queen, you're better off without her. She was never a true sister. This is why I'll never date a bi woman. Too much risk. The patriarchy is insidious. Stay strong, comrade. It was like a drug. Every notification was a hit of validation. See? I wasn't crazy. I was right. My friends, my real friends, they understood. I was the victim here, a political martyr. I leaned into it, hard. I wrote an essay for a small online journal about our relationship, anonymized of course, as a case study in feminist backsliding. It was critically acclaimed in my little corner of the internet. I was the wronged party, the intellectual whose heart was broken by a less evolved soul. But at night, when the phone was off, the apartment was silent, painfully silent. All the plants were still there. Her favorite mug was still in the cupboard. I'd walk past her empty side of the bed and feel a hollowness that no amount of Twitter likes could fill. The validation was a thin, brittle blanket, and the cold of reality kept seeping through. About a month after she left, morbid curiosity finally won. It was 2 a.m. I was doom scrolling, feeling that familiar mix of righteous anger and deep, gnawing loneliness. I searched her name on Instagram. Her profile was private, of course, but Kevin's wasn't. My finger hovered over his profile picture, the grinning man with the fish. I clicked. I told myself I was gathering intelligence. I was observing the enemy in his natural habitat. I scrolled. Mountains, dog, brewery, the same old shit. And then I saw her. The first picture with her in it was from 3 weeks ago. It was a selfie of the 2 of them. They were on a hiking trail, squinting in the sun. He was smiling his goofy smile, and she was laughing. Not a polite, posed smile like in our pictures. A real, deep, uninhibited laugh. The kind where your eyes crinkle up and you throw your head back. I hadn't seen her laugh like that in a long time. Maybe a year. My stomach twisted. I kept scrolling. A picture of her, sitting on the floor, controller in hand, focused on a TV screen. His dog's head was in her lap. She was wearing an old, ratty college sweatshirt. The caption was just, "She beat the boss." I'm so proud. A picture of a table with 2 plates of slightly burnt-looking homemade pizza. Her first attempt. A for effort. It was also normal. So painfully, devastatingly normal. There was no grand patriarchal drama, no oppression, no subjugation. It was just life. 2 people. Living a quiet, simple, shared life. They weren't deconstructing their pizza for problematic toppings. They weren't analyzing the gender politics of the video game. They were just living. And she looked happy. Genuinely, truly, peacefully happy. The kind of happy I told her she could only get with me, in our special, enlightened world. The kind of happy I hadn't been able to give her. I thought I was the one who saved her, and now I am alone, in a silent apartment, at 3 in the morning, scrolling through pictures of the love of my life being happy with someone else, realizing that the entire foundation of my world was a self-serving lie. It wasn't about feminism versus patriarchy. It was about a controlling, arrogant asshole versus a kind, normal person. My face when I wasn't the liberator. My face when I was the cage.